Hello, everybody. I'm Amber Dahlberg, and I'm joined today with Karen Lacey and Stacy Joslin of Alternative Choices Health and Wellness Center in Buena Vista. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're in for a great hour. A lot of education, a lot of information, and a lot of laughs to be had. Stacy, so
Yes.
I've got a live audience here with me today.
Yes.
I've got viewers around the world. I know what your gift is, so tell me, when am I going to win the Powerball, and what numbers do I need to play? Because that's what you do, right? You're going to make me rich and famous today.
No, I'm sorry, Amber, you're going to have to call a psychic because I don't do that. So
You don't? So what do you do, Stacy?
Well, I communicate with the spirit world, and I do talk to people's spirit guides and their angels for them, and I pass along messages for those people. But that's totally different than being psychic. So I'm not a fortune teller, and I'm not going to tell somebody what their future is. I'm not really interested in that, and other people don't really need to know that. But I have the ability to pass on these messages from people's angels, which can be very healing for them. It can bring closure. It can help emotional processing, or maybe they've gone through tough things in the past and they just need the confirmation from an angel.
So as far as fortune telling, all you can tell me today is we're doing this wonderful show. But you could indeed help me communicate with my angels, and they could communicate to you maybe some things that I need to heal from or brush up on, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, if somebody's gone through a death or something and they just need to be confirmed that their loved one on the other side is safe and doing well, you know, the angels can bring those messages to somebody too.
Okay.
So, and then I also do teach people how to connect with their own angels. And I teach classes, and then I do one-on-one sessions with people. And we all have the natural ability to do it. It's a God-given gift. And it's simply being in a peaceful space and being able to connect with the higher vibration and being able to connect with God.
Okay, Stacy, you brought up a very good point. You said it's a God-given gift. So for people who maybe think that you are from the dark side, or you're into witchcraft, or there's no God in what you do, how do you explain that there is a difference? That this is not something that you just wake up one morning and go, hey, I can go make $1 million doing this, and, you know, how does that work for you?
I'll tell you, I have experienced the dark side, and I have experienced some pretty scary things in my life. And I now consider those experiences as a blessing because it gave me the opportunity to choose. And it showed me what the dark side looks like, and I now choose the light. Every step of my life, I choose the light. And I feel that I have a very close relationship with God. God's one of my buddies. Talk to God every day. And there are a lot of psychics out there who are fake and are trying just to get the money and are playing up on people's pain and people's emotions. I do acknowledge that that's out there, but I am not one of those people. And I've worked very, very hard to get to where I am. And I've worked very hard on myself to have integrity and to have dignity in the work that I do.
Okay, if there's someone out there that maybe has not experienced your gift or had a session with you, and they're like, oh my goodness, she can see my angels, and I kind of had a bad thought about my neighbor last night and his dog. What if I see her now in City Market or Walmart? Is she going to be like, I know what you did last night? How do you respond to that? These people that now are going to be like,
Yeah.
Stacy, I was good, I promise.
I understand that fear. I've had people like see me in the coffee shop and stuff who are afraid to talk to me because they don't want me to see their soul. And what I got to say to that is, first of all, angels don't gossip. Angels, they're not going to reveal stuff about you that is private and stuff. And, you know, they're not whispering in my ear, oh, you're not going to believe what they did to their neighbor last night. They don't do that. And then as far as me, like, I do have the ability to see people's energy field. And I can see people's pain, or I can see people's joy. But I also have my own life. You know, so I'm not interested in knowing what everybody's doing all the time. You know, when I'm in the grocery store, it might be because like I actually need apples. You know, so I'm not like spying on everybody when I'm in the grocery store.
So I don't have to look tonight. You're not going to be lurking outside my house going, what did she really think of that show today? Let's stay tuned, Amber. Perfect.
Exactly.
Now, this is something that sometimes people have a hard time maybe being comfortable with, because there is a lot of talk of this is not acceptable. This is not okay. If someone is unsure of your gift and what you do, do you keep things pretty confidential? If they wanted to come see you, but maybe they did not want someone else to know they were here?
Absolutely.
I mean, how does that work?
Well, I'm a professional, and Karen's a professional. She's on me with this for sure, this boat. But
the center is professional.
Yeah, and what is spoken to us in the sessions stays in the sessions. And a lot of times when I'm communicating with somebody's angel, I don't even remember what's being said after the session. And I've had people come to me and say, you know, what was it the angel said? And I've had to say, gosh, I'm sorry. I just wasn't paying that much attention. It was just flowing out of my mouth. So confidentiality is very important. And then as far as somebody having questions or being unsure, they are welcome to call me and just ask me questions. I'd much rather have people ask me the questions rather than, you know, talking about it behind my back or spreading rumors about it. Just talk, just ask the questions. But if I have a session with somebody and then I run into that person in public, I won't even bring up the fact that we had a session together. It's just like a counselor. So, you know, you're safe to know that I'm not going to be in public saying, hey, I talked to your angels. You know, if it's nobody else's business, I'm not going to bring it up.
So this isn't a way to start your own version of, what is that movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer? We don't have Stacy Knows What You Did. So it's pretty
I'm
safe.
watching you.
Now, I know that I was lucky enough to have a session with you, and I felt very blessed by that session. I can say it was so much different than what I thought it was going to be. It was such a release emotionally for me. Do you have that happen a lot? I mean, of course you were there, you know, we talked about a lot of different things, and it does stir up, makes you go, oh my goodness, this is great, or I do need to heal from there. Do you have that happen a lot where people come back to you that may be a little bit hesitant in the beginning and they go, Stacy, that was the most beautiful journey ever?
Yeah, actually that's extremely common. And I would like to say I do not personally take credit for that. I believe that that's God and the angel doing that work. I'm just the channel. So whatever important or personal information that comes up in a session, it is very private between your angel and you. And if the angel knows that you're struggling with something, or that you're needing a breakthrough, or maybe you need to cry or something, the angel knows how to bring that up. But the goal is healing. The goal is not to sit there and watch you cry. That's not what it's about. So like I said, I feel like I'm doing this work for God. I'm not doing it because I personally think I'm a counselor. I'm not a psychologist or anything. I just talk to angels.
And you also do some drawings. Can you tell us a little bit about your drawings that you do?
I have been an artist my whole life. And as probably about 15 years ago, somebody said to me, wow, I wish I could see the angels the way you see the angels. And then all of a sudden I thought, wow, that's a really good idea. And I started drawing them for people. And it's incredible, the stuff that comes out on the paper. It's another situation where as I'm drawing, I'm not consciously aware of what I'm doing. It just comes out on the paper. And the hidden messages that have been in there for people are things that I never even realized it was a message, but it touched the other person. And I've had incredibly powerful reactions from the drawings that I do. So.
And is that a separate therapy, or is that something that you incorporate normally? How does one experience that part of your gift?
I do consider it to be separate because the drawings are fine art portraits. They take me several hours to do. But somebody can commission a drawing from me. I do also offer a service where during the session I can sketch somebody's angel. And that it's not going to be a fine art portrait, it's just a sketch, so it won't have as much detail or anything like that. But that's one of the services I offer. Or somebody could just sit with me and we could just talk about your angels and talk about what your angel wants to say. So if you don't want a drawing at all, we can do that as well. And then of course I do the sessions with Karen, she and I work together on what we call the RITS therapy, which stands for Restore Your True Self. So that's what we do together.
All right, and Karen,
Yes.
you working with Stacy, what are some things that you've been able to see and observe and take part in with her special gift? And we're going to get to yours here real soon.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about what you see going on and how this kind of works for the both of you.
Yeah, in the RITS therapy and
Yes.
how it's magnified. I have my set of gifts and technologies that I use on a daily basis. And so what we're able to do together is incorporate both of those gifts. And so what I'm able to do is assess the energy of a person's system with my technology on their meridians, and we can point test and decipher the cellular energy in those systems. And a lot of times people are coming in and those stressor points, you know, who doesn't have stress today in one way or another? And that's what my technology really is evaluating, is the stress within the system at a cellular level. And so I incorporate that, and we're able to evaluate where their systems are. And inevitably there is some weaknesses, there's inflammations and things like that. And as we get going, because there's every part of our body that has an emotional connection to it, that goes with the German New Medicine research with Dr. Hammer, and that 30 years plus of research and stuff. And so when I find a weakness or whatever in a person, then I let them know the emotional connection with that system and what's going on there. And then we start delving in, and I just start the talking process and the questioning, and then that usually leads into and opens up the pathway that the guides, the angels, come in for that specific person, and they'll start channeling through Stacy and offering information of what's going on. Stacy also can see certain things around a person's body. She's like a medical intuitive, so she can see further in on certain results and issues, and we'll know that if we need to incorporate some other, like tone therapy, balancing the chakras with tuning forks that are the tones of earth frequencies, they're solfeggios. We do drumming and other therapies that we have as a whole to do. But what happens then is at the end, I'll reevaluate those stress markers, and inevitably they will be balanced.
All right. Thank you, Karen, for that great introduction. And again, we'll be learning more about what you do. Stacy, you also have a couple books here.
Yes.
Before we head to our break, I want to hold those up. Dancing with the Dream Diva. And where can people find this book, and tell me briefly about it?
That book is available on Amazon, and it's also through my website. And you could buy it here at the center as well. And that book is about dreams and my dream journal, and about keeping dreams yourself, keeping track of your dreams. And then my other book there is actually my autobiography. So it details the process of what I went through developing my skills and my encounters with the spirit world.
Again, so Amazon.com here at the center, or your website, which we'll give to people a little bit later.
We will.
All right. We're going to go see our sponsors for a moment and give these ladies a break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer safe and effective alternative health care therapies for your family and your pets. Hi, I'm Karen Lacey, owner of Alternative Choices Wellness Center in Buena Vista. I'm here to clarify that we are not a medicinal marijuana dispensary. Although we do support the industry and the products that they provide for their clients, we do not support addiction. At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer unique and amazing therapies that address issues like addiction, stress, anxiety, emotional turmoil, and your common health ailments on an everyday basis. So with this ad, I am offering 15% discount on services only, not products, if you mention this ad. I do offer free consultations, so if you would like today to start changing your life, give me a call, 719-239-2007.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad that you came back to join Karen and Stacy and I for the rest of our segment here on Alternative Choices Health and Wellness Center in Buena Vista. Stacy, while we were in break, we had one of our viewers ask a very important question. The question was, have you ever had anyone record their session with you?
Yes, absolutely. Recording the sessions is totally fine. And it's a really good idea for people to do that because, like I said, I don't really remember what is spoken. So yeah, recording it is great. And then another thing to keep in mind too, something that people ask me all the time is, do I have a guardian angel? And the answer is yes. Everybody has guardian angels, and everybody has protection with them, and everybody has spirit guides. And so if somebody's thinking, no, I can't do a session because I don't have an angel, that's not true. Just call me and we can talk about it.
All right. And now that's another really good question. Where do your angels come from? Or who do people have asked, is it really angels? Is it just a different energy level? How would you explain to them what angels and how these angels come to you?
Well, I've been able to communicate with the spirit world since I was about 2 years old. So for me, it was just beings that were always there, and they were always talking to me, and they were always a part of my life. And that's why as I got older, I also got the opportunity to encounter the dark side, because I have also had demons come up to me, and I have been attacked by demons. And like I said, the good thing about that was it set me on the journey of, well, how do I make sure that never happens again? And then also, how do I coach other people so that does not happen to them? And again, I'm not going to say I'm an expert, and I'm not replacing God's work. I have just learned how to incorporate God's work. So angels are beings that work on behalf of God. They speak on behalf of God. And yes, it's possible to just go ahead and go to God directly and deal with God directly. But sometimes the angels come to us because they have more of that like buddy-buddy feeling. They're like our personal guide, our personal best friend. They know the ins and outs. And for some people, it's just easier for them to deal with an angel. It's kind of like, like your favorite pet. You just have that really intimate personal connection with your family pet. And you just have that good feeling. And that's what angels are for us as well. And animal spirits do show up in readings too. People have animal spirits with them also. But yes, everybody has an angel. Angels are good. And angels are what brought me to God. It's angels that came and got me.
So just again, you just have a different gift than maybe we're all aware of. But we each have that gift, as you mentioned earlier. We each have angels. We each have the ability to talk to those angels. It's how we get in touch with that, and you can help people learn how to have more of an intimate relationship with their angels and to be able to hear. Because I know I've often wondered, when I've prayed about something or I was seeking guidance with something, it's like, I need this dummified. I need to know, Amber, do not do this. But you can help me become more educated and more open, softer to my angels, so that their word does come through clearer for me than me sitting here just going, can't I just get a Post-it? I mean, that would be great. If I could just get a Post-it in the morning saying, hey, Amber, it's me, your friend, your angel, the one that you don't listen to. Why don't you try this today? I can actually, there is ways for me to be able to understand and absorb those messages better, because I know that there are times that I really have just been like, God, I'm sorry. I just don't get it. So that's good to know that maybe if someone is ready for that step, you're available. And it sounds like you're ready if someone's just now maybe entertaining the idea of getting involved with their angels and listening to them. You're there. If someone's a little further along and they understand that they're there, they have that, but maybe enhancing that walk.
But yeah, like I said, I do teach classes. I teach them here at the Wellness Center. So calling the center here, people can get information, or if people want to be on our email list, they'll get emailed not only my classes, but all of the amazing things that we do here at the center. So get on the email list. But yeah, you know, we all have our angels, and you know, my philosophy is that being in an intimate relationship with our guardian angels and with God, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a trend. So I live my life, my whole life revolves around my spiritual connection, and I've made that commitment very, very powerfully. And I prefer working with people who like to make that same commitment for themselves and for their relationship with God. But if somebody is just starting out and they're just curious and have questions, they can call me too. But I just need people to know that for me, I take it very seriously, and it is my whole life.
Okay. We talked a little bit earlier about how sometimes your therapies open up some emotional baggage maybe.
Yeah.
And I know we all do it. I mean, sometimes we find ourselves in life, it's almost like you're going on vacation. You've got your suitcase, you're headed to Hawaii, right? But then all of a sudden you take your ski boots and your snowshoes and all this stuff, and that's kind of what emotional baggage is. We pile stuff inside of us that we don't need. And I tell my kids that all the time. If we're packing for Hawaii, why are you bringing stuff for Aspen, Colorado in January? But it's very real. And you help sometimes identify that, which brings me into you, Karen. We have this emotional baggage, be it from childhood or different things that we've faced.
Traumas, conflicts, all of that. And what we refer to baggage is actually it's stored in your cellular system. And so that's why it takes therapies that go really deep. It isn't just a surface cognitive level that you're dealing with. Yes, there is some there, but when you want to really get deep and do the cleansing, we got to reach into the cellular system.
And do we always know that? Do you think
Oh,
that
no.
the general person, you're like,
No.
I'll just use me. I went through a divorce.
Mhm.
I can identify, I went through a divorce and it really kind of sucked. And I leave it there. I have learned through therapy, it went so very much deeper than, yeah, that sucked. It was so much more. And what is your suggestion to people who maybe just have the blahs? We don't know why. We wake up in the morning, we pry ourselves out of bed, we pop the eyelids open, and we're like, okay, let's do this. That's not normal. But how do you help them with
may
that?
Yeah, well, that may not be normal to some people, but because of the behavior aspect and the response aspect that we take on through trauma that gets stuck in our brain and our cellular system, we will start to live and think that that is a normal way of being.
And there's hope for us without
There's
sedatives, because
so much hope.
you
There's
know, a
so
lot of
much
times
hope.
it comes to, here's some Prozac.
Mhm.
I know there was a time in my life I just needed an IV according to
Yeah.
normal thought processes. I'll just sit here sedated and drooling all day.
Yeah.
But some of us don't want that.
No.
We want to find out, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah, and so with my technology, it's a non-invasive biofeedback source. And so I'm able to test at that electrical cellular level of the body and run several different categories at one time to check in and establish the emotional body, the physical body, and beyond, our mind body. And I call it our God spark, because the Bible says we were made in his light, and that Jesus said we can do exactly what he did. And so I highly believe in that. And so we go to that deeper level because we are more powerful beyond what we can fathom, and we have access to infinite opportunities and possibilities. And when we have those conflicts and traumas, and we start believing in the unworthiness and the defectiveness, and that we're not good enough or that we're not loved, And that comes from upbringings and traumas and conflicts that we experience throughout our life. And if we don't have the proper therapy, and nor do we seek it, then we start living off of those patterns until at some point in time, the body no longer, it's filled. It cannot store anything anymore. And you get to a point one day where you feel like you are literally going to lose it. You're going to have a nervous breakdown.
And we've, I know I've heard people put it into a term of suffocation, and I can relate to that, where you just felt like you were so full of the us, and I didn't know what it was. Yep. I mean, you're all like super smart, and you got these big old words that I can't sound out. But I know if I dummy it down a little bit.
Yes, please do. So sorry, it's from my trainings.
So yeah, she has like a dictionary that we're not going to dabble in. So bear with me. We're not taking Karen's walk of verbiage here.
She knows what she's talking about.
She does, and that's the beautiful part of it. But for those people who maybe don't even know that they're going through this, there is help, and it is not as far away as you might think, and it does not have to be basically just, here's a pill that's going to make you wake up in the morning, but I must warn, it's going to crystallize your liver. But come back next week and I'll give you the one that's going to fix your liver, but your kidney's going to go. There's other things that we can do for ourselves to feel better. Now, you brought up something that I know is pretty sensitive to some of the world around us. And you are an expert on this, because after 13 and a half, almost 14 years of being here, doing what you do, I've got to say there's a lot of people who think that you are trying to convert people from Christianity or from believing. I've got to personally say I've been in here for a year and a half professionally, and personally, I've never had to eat a live chicken.
No. That won't happen here.
When you give me water, it's never been out of a cauldron.
No.
And when I've told you, man, this person really irked me, and they hurt my feelers real bad. Never once have you reached in the drawer, pulled out a voodoo doll, and we have never went to stabbing, girl.
Won't happen here.
So for people who have this misconception that, you know, when you walk in the door, it's like, ooh, come on in. Welcome to the dark side, my friend. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, no.
That's not quite what it's like here.
No.
I mean, look around. It's beautiful. I've never, like I said, never had the voodoo doll, the cauldron, or the live chicken. So have you been holding out on me, or is that just not what you do?
Yeah, it's just not what I do. That is not who I am. That's not what I'm about. I don't turn anybody away, regardless of what their beliefs, their religion, their color, their anything. What we do try to do is dispel the fears. We try to dispel the ignorance, and I'm not meaning stupid, I'm meaning uninformed. We do a lot of educating here and teaching, and I will take 2 hours with one person to do that education so that they understand exactly what I'm doing with them, for them, so that they know that they are informed and they don't leave here and just go, what did I just go through? Because you, for one, walking through my door, are saying I am ready to commit and take responsibility for myself. And that's really what it's about, is taking responsibility for ourselves and knowing that we have the ability through this beautiful God-given body that we reside in, that it will heal itself if you give it what it needs.
So on that right there, if someone is active in a church, they're leading a small group, they're head of a children's program, walking through your door is not going to take away all the godliness in their life.
Absolutely not. I will only try to enrich that.
Okay. We are going to take another short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the amazing holistic therapies found here at Alternative Choices Health and Wellness Center in Buena Vista. Stay tuned.
At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer safe and effective alternative health care therapies for your family and your pets. Hi, I'm Karen Lacey, owner of Alternative Choices Wellness Center in Buena Vista. I'm here to clarify that we are not a medicinal marijuana dispensary. Although we do support the industry and the products that they provide for their clients, we do not support addiction. At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer unique and amazing therapies that address issues like addiction, stress, anxiety, emotional turmoil, and your common health ailments on an everyday basis. So with this ad, I am offering 15% discount on services only, not products, if you mention this ad. I do offer free consultations, so if you would like today to start changing your life, give me a call, 719-239-2007.
Welcome back. We're going to address a few more things here with Karen and Stacy today. We're just getting kind of in the thick of things, so I'm glad that you're back with us. Again, I'm very honored to have the opportunity to talk to these wonderful ladies, and hopefully we're going to shed some light on some sensitive topics, and we're going to be able to help people realize there is a quality of life, not just a quantity, and you're in control of that life. And sometimes the page turns here with where am I looking for help and what help do I need? And those are things that are not always easy to identify, but we are here today to show you a place where no matter what is going on, that question can be answered and those steps can be taken for a quality of life that you are in control of, be it emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. You own your right to be better, to be the best you that you've ever been. Karen, a big question that we've talked about the religion, which is a big one. Another one, what is the difference between your type of therapy, holistic healing, and traditional medicine, where I just get the Pez dispenser and the feel goods inside of it?
The difference is in its Western medicine is really known as allopathic medicine. And what they study is just mass, the mass of the body. That's all they really look at. In holistic healthcare, we look at the body as a whole, the physical body, the emotional body, and the mind body. And in order for you to completely heal everything and be a whole being, person, physical, emotional, all of that, you have to approach all of it. And what I have found in my studies and the therapies that I do, and what really broke through for me was when I started certifying in classes and learning about how the majority of our physical body is conducted by our emotional well-being, our belief systems, and those types of things. And I have two quotes that I use is, nobody can fix you but you. And you are not who you think you are. Because when we are raised, and I can only use myself as an example, and things like that, but the way I found this industry was healing myself. It took me 3 long years. And I healed extensively through the bones. And through my studies of emotional therapy and things like that, I realized that healing in your bones are connected with deep, deep self-devaluation. I've had a life of that. I had a childhood of that. There was a lot of abuse in my childhood. And so it's only right that I stored, and I learned how to store every trauma, every conflict, every unworthy thought that I had went into my bones.
So it goes back to the analogy of the suitcase.
Absolutely.
We actually start packing our suitcases at a very early age.
We can even start in the womb because of the emotions our mother's in, or the conflicts or traumas that she has. It filters to us. And I have found this over and over and over in my work. And this is why when people come into this world and they have health issues, physical, emotional, or whatever, it stems and they don't know why. The doctors haven't been able to figure it out why. And it's because they didn't even know they came into this world with something that they acquired through the womb and their mother.
So this emotional detoxing, what is that journey about? Is it a situation of I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, Karen, I'm really kind of messed up here. Fix me. And you're
Great.
going to go zap, zap, a little electrocution here and there. You're healed. Whack. Or how does this process actually work?
It's all non-invasive. I don't electrocute you, anything like that, I mean, if I want to get creative, I could think of some things, but that's just not me. But basically, there's several different avenues in which, I can find that out. And I actually have just been acquiring a gift of a whole new therapy that's going to make it much easier on me. But before, the quantum neural reset therapy was one that I could tap in, and through muscle testing and my scanning and things like that, we could delve into and find what age level and what brain and what organs were involved and what belief systems and things like that. And through several different avenues of like emotional freedom technique, which is tapping and things like that, we could dispel and unveil and unwind those belief systems out of the body. The new therapy that's coming forth, which is going to make it so much easier on me and go so much deeper into the neurological system and the brains, is brainwave optimization. And I'm going to be getting certified in that in the middle of next month. And so it's a technology that we use electrodes, and basically what it is, it's actually through acoustic tone therapy. You get to relax in this anti-gravity chair, listen to the acoustic tones that your brain chooses in real time in order to deeply relax the brain. And I see it in my mind as we're unwinding the stuckness from the traumas and the conflicts and everything, because our brain at the same time gets imbalanced.
So it's like a rubber band. Our
Yeah.
body is like a rubber band that just gets wound so
Wound,
tight.
wound.
The elasticity is gone.
Exactly.
The resistance is gone. We're basically from a rubber band who had something
Yes.
to just that overcooked noodle
Yes.
where we're just limp.
Yes.
Now, is this process, does it take a while? I mean, is this a one session
No.
therapy, or is this something that you need to commit to
No.
to say, to be the best me, we're going to
No.
have to walk the walk? I mean, we're not talking about, hi, my name's Amber and I just went
Yeah.
through the 12-step program.
Right.
But how does this work?
I can tell you from the start of my therapies, and even with the body scanning and things like that, it's like cutting an onion in half, and you peel layer after layer after layer. You will feel better, but if you have accumulated layers over 30, 40, 50 years, I'm telling you, you're not going to get rid of them overnight. It's a work in progress. But your goal is to get to that wholeness and that core of who you are.
And it also makes people feel very different,
Yes.
too. When you start getting rid of those layers of, like you said, the suitcase, you start getting rid of everything that you don't need, you feel different.
Totally.
And that cannot go too fast. Because if we rush that kind of therapy,
You'll
then
blow
people
yourself
will walk
out. Yeah.
around completely disoriented. So
Right.
you need to recalibrate yourself. So it's
So-
not super fast.
Is it like, would you recommend, if someone's ready to come in, see you about this, and let's take that step, would you say that like one therapy a week spread out over as much time as that person needs?
Yep.
Or how does that work? And what can they, I have a hard time believing that if we can clog our system up that much emotionally, that it's just going to go away and dissolve like peacefully. Is there some processes in there where maybe people might go, I kind of had a mental breakdown, all I did was cry for 3 days straight, and then I ran around my living room screaming, Karen, what have you done to me?
I've had that.
I was screwed up before, but now I'm just like out of control, screwed up. Help me!
Yeah, no, I've had him drive up into my driveway on a weekend, and I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It's like, okay, all right, what are you holding back? And then boom, the emotion comes because we learn not to emote. And so learning to emote again, and that you have that permission, it's about giving yourself permission. giving yourself the freedom from what you were told and what you were taught, that isn't okay.
Now, I can relate to that because, as you know, I've done some therapy
Yep.
work. And I've got to say, that was such a liberating thing for me as a human being. To finally go, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to not take part in this conversation without that guilt of, oh, that's not okay. Lay down, be that doormat again. That's your job. That's who you are. And to finally be able to see myself in situations that were uncomfortable before, then I would walk away thinking, this is my fault.
Right.
And now to be able to step up and say, you know what? I'm not the cause and I'm not the cure. And it is okay for me to remove myself from this situation, not because I don't care, but because this isn't healthy for me. And I can say that has just been such a beautiful gift, and what a blessing to know. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be who they say you need to be or who this person thinks you need to be.
Yeah.
And that it's okay, that I've learned through your therapies, to hand people back their suitcase
stuff.
and say, you know what, honey, I've carried this for a while. You do it now. I'm going to carry my one for Hawaii.
That's where my quote, nobody can fix you but you. It is everybody's responsibility. Can we have compassion and can we support another person as they are doing their healing and going through stuff? Absolutely. But you do not take ownership.
And I think I feel that more strongly now in a sincere way. I have kind of started to learn maybe what I was feeling before that I thought was compassion and empathy for someone truly wasn't. It was guilt of, oh my gosh, I got to be Bob the Builder, get my tool belt. I'm going to fix this fool. And I'm going to make him better or her better. And I've got to rescue, and it's up to me. And that's not compassion, and that's so not empathy.
And that's very stressful.
That is so hard. But now that I've learned that I can love from a distance, I can feel, I think I actually feel those emotions versus trying to fix a problem.
What happens is you establish self-respect. And each and every one of us is a mirror of the divine. And when we step into ourselves and we really tap into who we are and our light is shining, it is us that is the mirror to give that other person permission to go, oh, what is going on there? I want some of that. And that is really one of our biggest purposes here here on this earth, is to be that divine being that we are and step into that and really get to know it and be the mirror and give the other people permission around you, which is why we have, people that are in this fear and the uninformed and everything, because they're, again, it's those belief systems that they get stuck with. And they're just like, oh, can I maybe step out of the box and explore this? Or, no. And there are people who have such strict beliefs that they cannot free themselves.
And, I think that leads to a whole other therapy probably that
It
you
does.
have, and we'll dabble in that a little bit next time. But for those people who are maybe seeing this for the first time or who are sitting here and maybe who have, tried a little bit here and there, now is a really good time because you are offering you have free consultations and 15% off of services to go ahead and contact you.
Correct.
And maybe start that path.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back shortly with some more exciting news. We hope that you guys have enjoyed us here today, and we look forward to our next segment here in just a few minutes.
At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer safe and effective alternative health care therapies for your family and your pets. Hi, I'm Karen Lacey, owner of Alternative Choices Wellness Center in Buena Vista. I'm here to clarify that we are not a medicinal marijuana dispensary. Although we do support the industry and the products that they provide for their clients, We do not support addiction. At Alternative Choices Wellness Center, we offer unique and amazing therapies that address issues like addiction, stress, anxiety, emotional turmoil, and your common health ailments on an everyday basis. So with this ad, I am offering 15% discount on services only, not products, if you mention this ad. I do offer free consultations, so if you would like today to start changing your life, give me a call, 719-239-2007.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so glad that you've joined us here today. It's been an absolutely amazing hour. Hopefully you have gained some insight on what we do here at Alternative Choices Health and Wellness Center. Hopefully if you've been struggling with something, or you're just maybe unsure of angels, or you got the blahs, or you just realized that your suitcase is the size of a Buick and you are going to make it a Volkswagen Bug, because that's what we're doing here today. You have been able to connect with Karen and Stacy, and you're now comfortable and ready to make the next step by getting hold of them at Alternative Choices. Karen, this is our last segment. This has went by pretty darn fast, but it's it's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
I've really enjoyed you and Stacy. It's been wonderful getting to see more about what you do. I mean, I've had my encounters, but I haven't been able to encounter them all.
Encounters of the third kind.
That's right. I visited the dark side. Remember we ate salad out of that coffin once? Just saying. It was kind of a crazy day. And then there was that one time that, Stacy chased me with bats and stuff trying to get me. No, just kidding. Anyway, we don't do any of that crazy stuff here. So if you have been out in the community and you have heard all these absurd things, we are not judging the people who speak those things. That's really, really important. That is not what we're here to do. All we want to do is, if you've heard something or you feel something or you're unsure of something, we want to put those things aside. We want to invite you into the center. If you just want to walk through the front door, take a look around, say, hey, I saw your guys' show. I wasn't sure what to think of you, and I just wanted to stop by and introduce myself and say hello. I assure you, these ladies are going to be there. They're going to be warm. They are not going to interrogate you. And as we cleared up earlier, there's no eating of live chickens, voodoo dolls, or cauldrons. So you're good. Karen, what brought you to where you are, where you have such a passion for this? This is not something that you do because it's a job. There's that old saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I have not worked a day since November 3rd. It's been kind of a little mini vacay, and I sense that about you too.
Yeah.
What brought you here? Just to kind of let them know as a final, this is who I am, and this is why I'm here.
Well, really, it's been it's the journey that I've had, and it started when I went through my healing back in '99, and it took me 3 years to do it on a naturopathic basis. And at that point in time, after when I left allopathic, because they had no answers for me, and all they wanted to do was just guinea pig me on a list of drugs.
And you had a problem with that?
I had a real problem with it because nothing was working up to that point, and I felt horrible. And I really actually can tell you, I really felt like I was dying inside. And I really was not connected with my intuitive self and, just my my God self at that point. But boy, did that quickly happen. And when they diagnosed me with a rheumatism and this and that and da-da-da, there was this strong voice inside of me that said, this is not what this is. And that's when it led me to seek alternative healthcare, and I healed myself through the bionetics, the body scanning, and I did acupuncture and things like that. I took no pain meds. So I had some very enlightened experiences when the pain got so severe at night that I would find myself hovering over the toilet, and then I would pass out on the bathroom floor and stuff. So it's been a journey, and so I have my own passion. I say I do not have a college degree because I have been going to the University of Life. And so that is my education. And whenever you have a journey like this and you have an experience like this, if you don't endeavor into figuring out why you're having this experience, which is what I've learned, and I found out that it's a part of me waking up to my God self. And so it's been a blessing.
And I think it's important to say that, Karen was really sick, but she didn't let it destroy her.
But I
she
wasn't
didn't become a victim.
And I wasn't sick that now I realize I wasn't sick. My body was healing.
Yeah.
Because that's when you have the pain and the symptoms and everything. As I look at health a whole completely different, it's you are in healing.
If people think they're sick, but they're not.
Exactly, because of that belief system we have from allopathic. We're actually in healing. And when you allow the body and give it what it needs.
This reminds
on
me
a
of a song.
naturopathic basis.
There's a song that one of our guests in our audience might remember. I don't know if anyone else will. A little bit different context, but The Black Crows kind of sums this up because it's she talks to angels.
Yes.
Stacy's talking to angels, and there's one part in that song where it says she gives a smile when the pain comes. Pain's going to make everything all right. Mm-hmm. And hearing you say that, we need to become more aware. Yep. Sometimes when your body is hurting, it's not shutting down. In fact, it is saying, hey, girl, hold on. We're going to grab another gear, and we're going to go places here. Bear with me for a bit.
It's communicating with you. And if you go to shut down that communication, then what you are doing is insulting your subconscious body as well as your physical body. And so if you embrace it and you take a whole different attitude, why do you think there are people who have healed through stage 4 cancers with a positive attitude?
So the common response when someone has some of these sicknesses like fibromyalgia or arthritis, things of that nature, and they say, I can't go for that walk because I'm in pain, I need to lay down. That's actually 180-degree opposite of what they should be doing. They should be saying, the pain is healing and I need to keep my body moving, essentially, mentally, physically, to keep pushing my body forward and comforting it through that.
Somewhat. You have to listen to your body. And you will get a barometer and you will get information on just how far you can go and things like that. So it's all about honoring self and honoring the body and knowing, because when I went through my healing for 3 years, I really could not go for vigorous exercise whatsoever, just because I didn't have the energy to do that. And so you have to be able to decipher for yourself within that. What I don't like is when people get a diagnosis. And I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but they actually start living that diagnosis. They become the diagnosis. And that preempts a pattern and a belief system within that person. And I don't believe in that.
I totally understand, and I can relate to that. My oldest daughter was born 2.5 months premature. I was told at various times when she was in the NIC unit, she was deaf, she was blind, lots of different things for a young mom, and turns out none of that was true. Right. One day when my daughter was 9 months old, they came to me. Now she was home with me, okay? And I had to take her into some appointments and some checkups, and there's a stack of papers. And I walk in, and they said, due to the fact that she was born 2.5 months premature, and they gave me all the stuff, we would like you to sign these papers. And I said, for? Well, because based on her entrance into this world, she's never going to act like a normal child, which number one was like, well, what's normal? I mean, I'm not, so she's not going to be right. Yeah. Who knew? Shock! Then it was, this is release so that we can make her a ward of the state and put her in a home for children of her type. And I'm looking at my little girl going, her type? She's baby. I mean, she's baby stuff. And I said, no, I think no. And they're like, but you're young and you just don't understand. A child like her is not going to walk and talk at the right age, she's never going to function normally. There's that word again, normally.
Yeah.
I'm not normal. How's she going to be? You're not normal. How's she going to be? And I fought this and I said, no. If there comes a point in time where medically I cannot care for my child, we will address this again. My daughter is 20 years old. She walked, she talked, she went to college. She was on the dean's list at college, might I add. She has qualified for a world champion barrel racer since she was 9 years old. She works with severe needs children right now and horses. She's my gypsy girl. She just kind of floats around Texas living. So yes, I think if I would have wrapped my head around, I'm going to live the diagnosis, where would my daughter be?
Right.
She would be in a home somewhere believing that she wasn't normal, and she would not have done what she's done.
And see, and I think if we on that context, if we really take a look at it, normal's in the box. I don't live in a box. I refuse to, because I want to live.
Now, for
So,
some of your therapies, if there's children out there, or people, not just children, if there are someone out there who has like ADD or maybe Down syndrome, or anything that maybe has been categorized over here on the list, is there things that you can do to help them
Absolutely.
obtain that quality of life instead
Yeah.
of doing what's normal?
Yeah.
And you just go sit over there in the corner and do what people like you do, which
Absolutely.
I hate that. That's
Right.
not my thoughts. But we as a society have got to acknowledge the fact that sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah.
There's your place. There's your place. I mean, we've talked about this with what you guys do here.
and this
You
is,
guys have been put in your place.
yeah.
When indeed our place is this beautiful world that we should be interacting and helping one another.
Right. And this is, this is where, people have to step up and like you did as a mother, with the Downs children and things like that. How many of them have we seen that excel and that they're these beautiful beings, and not any one of us is the same. So we cannot be put into that category of, oh, you're just right here, you're right here, you're right here. That's what society would like us to do, because it'd be easier for us to be conglomerated into a group. But we are all individual. We have our cells are different. Our DNA is different. We can change our DNA with our own thoughts and our beliefs and things like that. And so,
Could you make me taller? Because your guys' feet hit the
would
floor
like to.
and
I
mine
mean,
don't.
we could find one of those stretchers. Or, you do pretty good with the platform shoes. So I'm going to say you stay with those.
Is there a therapy where I can be an average person? So, because I just want my feet to touch the floor, and I want to see over the wheel of my truck. Without a lot of
because
help.
you're unique to who you are.
Well,
And
but
Yeah,
that's
and
the
that's
beauty.
that's what this place is for. Is we're just helping people be the best person
person
that they can be.
the
The best you can be. It's not
Exactly.
up to us to tell you who you should be. We have our own lives to live too. We want to be our best self, so we help other people be their best self,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about.
I know sometimes you guys have guest speakers that come in and other people who sometimes come in and interact. So this is maybe why there's resistance, I feel like, after this whole show today. You guys are breaking the mold. You are not categorizing. You're not shelving and curbsiding. You, in this center, have your arms and hearts wide open saying, and this is the most important message of the day, people. Whatever you're struggling with, our arms and our doors are open, and we want to help you live the best life that you can live. And that's what this is about.
Right. And teaching you how to do it all the way from the foundation of really, really good food that you're nourishing this body with, and all the way up to, the emotional body and things like that. And teaching you how to give yourself permission in which to do, because that's really what it is, and taking the responsibility for self, because that's what we've gotten away from.
So
is
it's a
taking
hands-on
responsibility.
healing, not a classic, come in, lay down on the couch, put your feet up,
No.
tell me how that makes you feel. Okay, cool, go read this book.
And like Stacy says, God is the conductor.
So
It's-
you
it's
guys are
God
an
energies.
interactive, so to speak, with just letting me be the beautiful me that God created me to be, that throughout my life got clouded and I forgot.
Help you open up and see that. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is like the Key to Life segment right here. We will be having a monthly segment. We hope that you'll follow us along this journey. And we hope that, if nothing else, we brought some beauty into your day and some reassurance that you are okay and you can be beautiful. Your kind of beautiful.
Yes.
You are the key.